Call to order the Planning Commission meeting for Thursday, March 15th, 2018. Please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Howard, will you please call the roll?
Yeah, Commissioner Stevens.
Here.
Commissioner Knobloch.
Here.
Commissioner Heikkila.
Here.
Commissioner Casey.
Here.
Commissioner Stevenson.
Here.
Chair Schwartz.
Here.
Let the record show that Commissioner Schmalke is not at tonight's meeting.
All right, our first order of business is to adopt our agenda for the evening.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Stevens, second by Knobloch. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carried, agenda's been adopted. Next, we have the approval of our minutes from our February 15th meeting.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Stevenson.
move that we adopt the minutes from the last meeting.
Second.
Motion by Stevenson, second by Casey. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Our first order of new business this evening is planning case 18-3, preliminary plat for Pleasant Hills, 3rd edition, southwest corner of Main Street and Shenandoah Boulevard, Battles. Mr. Harlinger.
Yes, Commissioners and Chair. This first item is a preliminary plat, about 2.3 acres into 2 lots. The property's at the corner of Shenandoah Boulevard on the Main Street. Main Street here, Shenandoah Boulevard. There's an existing house here, and then this outlot, and it'll be these 2 lots that are being platted into 2 lots. There's an existing house with a detached garage on the larger lot. The outlot here is vacant. Lot 1, which is the larger house here, the larger lot here with a house and garage on it, be 1.57 acres. It's got frontage on both Main Street and Shenandoah Boulevard. No access will be permitted out onto Main Street or Shenandoah Boulevard. There is an existing driveway that comes in at the end of that cul-de-sac right here. The lot does meet all the dimensional requirements of the LDR2 zoning district. The second lot, which is right here, is 14,500 square feet. It's undeveloped. It meets all the dimensional requirements also of the LDR2 zoning district. It does have the 90 feet of frontage here, and then it's kind of a rectangle going this way. This lot here also will not have access out onto Shenandoah Boulevard. Its driveway will also come in off of the cul-de-sac here. In previous discussions with the applicant, the house will likely face the west or the bulb of the cul-de-sac, and this will function as the backyard, side yard, and front yard here. Park dedication will be required for both lots. This lot was part of a Coon Creek Gardens, which was platted back in 1934 prior to any park dedication. This outlot here was platted as an outlot, and therefore no park dedication was collected at that time. Now that it's a buildable lot, staff is recommending that park dedication be collected for both lots, the amount of $2,000 per lot. There aren't any significant grading, drainage, or utility issues. Utilities are available off of 124th. The existing house is currently on city services. With that, staff is recommending that the Planning Commission move to recommend approval of the preliminary plat with the following 5 conditions. 1, that the plans with Title 11, all engineering comments be addressed, Anoka County Highway Departments be addressed. This plat was sent over to the County Highway Department because it has frontage on County Road up here, Main Street. So it automatically gets referred to the County Highway Department. Park dedication fees in the amount of $4,000, $2,000 per lot, be paid prior to releasing the plat for recording, and access for both parcels must be from 124th Lane. No access allowed from Main Street or Shenandoah Boulevard. With that, I'll answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Harlicker. Commission, any questions for Mr. Harlicker at this time? All right, hearing none. We will have a public hearing on this matter, so at this time I will open a public hearing in planning case 18-3, preliminary plat for Pleasant Hills 3rd edition. Anyone wishing to speak to this matter? Step up to the microphone, sir, please. State your name, give your address, and limit your comments to 5 minutes.
Darrell Sari, I live at 2052 on 124th Lane. Just one question. Is it my understanding that that small unbuildable lot will become part of the proposed 2 lots?
Yeah.
That's correct.
Chair and Commissioners,
Mr. Harlicker.
they're actually taking about 12 feet of this bigger lot and combining it with the outlet here to make sure it had to give it the dimensional requirements that it needs. On its own, it couldn't be platted because it wasn't big enough.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. That's all I had.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? Step up to the microphone, sir. Give your name and address.
Richard Battles, 18493 329th Avenue in Isle, Minnesota. The question about the park dedication, was anything taken off for park dedication when I did this development?
Chair and Commissioners, these lots were buildable lots, so they all paid park dedication. This here is an outlot, so it's not buildable, so nothing was collected.
Nothing was collected. It's $2,000 for each.
For each of the other ones. I'm not sure what the amount was at that time. It was probably less than that. But that's the park dedication fee at this time.
For one lot, huh? Wow. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak at public hearing on this matter? Seeing none, we will close the public hearing. Commission.
I move that in planning case 18-3, that the planning commission move to recommend approval of the preliminary plat for the Pheasant Hills 3rd edition with the following 5 conditions that were previously stated.
Second.
Motion by Stevens, second by Heikkila. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. This is a recommendation by the Planning Commission and will be heard by the City Council at their April 3rd meeting. Good luck. Our second case for the evening is Planning Case 18-4, a site plan for a veterinary clinic at 3550 River Rapids Drive. I hope I don't murder this name too bad. Sambadek.
Yep.
Mr. Harlicker.
Chair and Commissioners, this site is located at the corner here of Round Lake Boulevard and Main Street. This is the Walgreens, Panera Bread, an existing retail building, Chick-fil-A, to give you a reference here. What the applicant is proposing is a 3,100 square foot veterinary clinic. Access into the site will be via the existing driveway coming in off River Rapids Drive, and then through the parking lot and the site. No access out on Round Lake Boulevard or Main Street. Here's the site plan. The original site plan had a second retail building at this location. As you can see from the current air photo here, there's parking all the way along here, extending up to the retail building all along through here. One of the changes with this is the building is smaller. It's a veterinary clinic instead of a retail building. And they're still keeping some of the parking here, but they're eliminating parking here and instead providing access into a smaller parking lot right here that'll serve as parking for the veterinary clinic. There's 7 parking spaces along here, 9 in this area here, for a total of 16 spaces. With the original approval, there was 92 spaces required for the 2 retail buildings and the restaurant, and 92 spaces were provided. With this new layout, the total number of spaces for the development there for the 3 buildings was 92 spaces. Excuse me. With the proposed reconfiguration here, the proposed pan, the parking requirement is 29 spaces for the existing commercial building, 45 spaces for the restaurant, and 11 spaces for the clinic, for a total of 85 spaces. City code does not have specific parking requirements for veterinary clinics, and in researching it, the calculations and the requirements are all over the board. What staff decided to use was one place per staff, which is there's 7 staff, 2 spaces per veterinarian, so that's 4. We've had 1 for the animal that's in there, and then 1 in the waiting room. That's where the 4 spaces came up. There's 2 vets for a total of 11 spaces. And with this new configuration, the development's parking spaces increases from 92 up to 97. So they're really kind of increasing the number of spaces available and actually decreasing the number of required spaces. So everybody knows it's a fairly tight site the way it is, so this has an opportunity to maybe relieve some of that tight parking for those 3 buildings. 2 sidewalks are being installed. One will connect with the trail on Main Street, go along the east side of the building, and then the entrance of the building is this location here. So it'll provide a connection to the building and also provide a sidewalk connection for these parking spaces here. There's a sidewalk also along this side of the building for these parking spaces. The sidewalk is being provided that will connect with the sidewalk on Main Street, extend into the site, so people can come in along this way, go to this building, or over to Panera Bread, or to the veterinary clinics here. And there's crosswalks where pedestrians, excuse me, will cross the driveways. Landscaping, you can touch on grading here a little bit. Minimal amount of grading is occurring here. They are modifying the existing stormwater ponds that are in there to accommodate this, the new parking layout. Engineering has reviewed it, and they're okay with the concepts that are being proposed here. And there'll be some tweaking as the plans get finalized, but overall the engineering department was okay with what's being proposed. The landscape plan, they've got ornamental trees scattered around in through here. The positioning of these trees is consistent with the previously approved landscape plan. They've got an overstory tree proposed on this parking lot peninsula, and then foundation plantings around the building here on this peninsula, and also along both sides of the sidewalk that come in from the Round Lake Boulevard. Staff is recommending that ornamental trees be planted along here, spaced along here to provide some shade and a more pleasant entrance into the development. They should also show on the original plan, there was landscape shrubs and perennials planted in the rain garden here. The plan should include detail on how that landscaping is going to change with the new grading. With the building is a mix of brick, rock face block, and ephes. These raised components here will be brick that's consistent with the darker brick on the existing building. The ephes is a dark gray, and then they've got a split face block along the base here. The windows will each have canopies over the top, canvas canopies. This is the entrance here. It's got a canopy over the top. You've got the nice glass area there on either side of the doors. They do carry around to the east elevation. This is the elevation facing Panera Bread. And they continue the canopy over those windows to the middle canopy. So the two corners are tied together. The raised portion of the darker brick here also breaks up the flat roof line and gives some relief there. And these are the other two elevations. This is the west elevation. Faces Round Lake Boulevard. Again, you can see the raised brick portion right here, with the canopies over the windows. And then this is the elevation that faces Main Street. Again, with the raised brick component and the canopies. The applicant does have material samples that they can present to the board. And the building elevations do comply with a mix of materials requirement of that regional shopping zoning district. And here's artist rendering of what they see the building looking like. With the entrance here, this is the parking lot, and the existing building is over here. And this would be the east elevation. You can see how the canopies are carried around. This is the parking lot that faces the Panera Bread. With that, staff is recommending the Planning Commission move to approve the proposed site plan with the following conditions. Compliance with Title 11. All engineering comments be addressed. All comments from Anoka County Highway Department be addressed. Again, this is along Main Street. A lighting plan be provided. Landscape plan be revised to include the approved planting plan for the stormwater pond and 4 ornamental trees between the sidewalk and the building along this location here. The applicant enter into a site security agreement, and there is a ground sign on River Rapids Drive that's in disrepair, and the property owner should bring that sign into compliance and make the necessary repairs on it. There's also an existing monument sign on the corner here. No modifications are proposed for that. There is an opportunity for space on there for signage. And we can touch on signage too. In this zoning district, signage is allowed on any side that faces a public street or a parking field. And as you can see, this building faces Round Lake Boulevard, Main Street, and has parking on the other 2 sides. So if they prefer, they could actually provide signage on 4 sides of the building, subject to a sign permit and meeting the square footage requirement for signage. And with that, I'll answer any questions, and the applicant is in the audience also.
Mr. Harper, why are we listing the ground sign on River Rapids Drive as a condition for this applicant, since it's the property owner that's responsible for it?
Well, the property owner did sign off on the application, and it is a significant enough disturbance on the site that staff thought it was an appropriate condition that could be placed on the application.
All right, thank you.
And the property owner's aware of that?
They were sent a copy of the site plan. I'll let the applicant speak to that. I have not heard back from them.
I see.
Commission, any other questions for Mr. Harlicker at this time?
No, that was the same question I was going to ask too.
All right, then we will have a public hearing in this matter. I will open a public hearing in planning case 18-4, a site plan for a vet clinic at 3550 River Rapids Drive. Anyone present wishing to speak to this matter, please?
Do you have a board?
Well, we'll get to the petitioners here in a minute. No one for the public hearing? Close the public hearing. Is there anything that petitioner would like to add? Show us their sample board and anything else?
Good evening. My name is Brady Busselman with Sambatech, representing the owner. I'm a civil engineering consultant. I think Scott's presentation was very thorough. The only thing that I would add is to clarify the owner's intent with the sign that was brought up. The latest direction I've had is to include that in our demolition plan to be removed. So I don't foresee any issues with the condition. If that changes, then we would discuss with the owner bringing it into compliance.
Thank you.
Maybe there's a board's architecture stuff.
Sure. If you want to bring up the rendering.
Yep.
And could you give your name, sir, too, please?
My name is Ben Potachik with DJR Architecture, performing architectural services. So the intent for the brick on this building was to match the building to the north. So we have two brick types, one being a reddish iron color and another being a darker brown. And so this is the base, and then this provides striping throughout the building to match what was done on the other. And then the other main material is the ephes. So just pick the dark gray to complement the brick. And then the rock face block will also match the brick, complementary color. And then the canopy will just be like a aluminum color to also match what was done on the other building.
And is there anything else that the petitioners would like to add?
No, I think that's everything. We're happy to answer any questions you might have. Otherwise, thank you.
All right, a couple questions that I have is, are there any thoughts to having some kind of outdoor furniture for in the nice weather time of year that your customers could possibly have a place to sit with their animals outside?
Sure. Currently, there is nothing planned. However, there is a good large area south of the building for, owners to take their pets out and get them a little exercise and let them relieve themselves right there. Yep. But at this time, there is no intent to add furniture.
Commission, any other questions for the petitioner?
I have one.
Commissioner Stevens.
More of a comment. I'm glad to see that there's a lot of grass. That was my concern from our previous meeting, someplace for the dogs, so to be able to exercise before they come in and go from the building. So that's good. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Along
Commissioner
that.
Casey.
Oh, yes, sorry. Along that same line, there's a trail on that south side of the building along Main Street?
Right there.
Did I see something about a retaining wall there, or just,
Yeah, Commissioner Casey, there is an existing, that trail's in place, so there is a small
just a little?
retaining wall up there currently.
Okay, and I had one other question. Forgot what it was. It'll come to me.
Okay. Commission, anyone else? Give Commissioner Casey's second here.
And it's not, so couldn't have been that important.
I think it's a fine-looking
I-
building.
Yeah.
I do.
All right,
remember.
Commissioner Casey.
Those canvas awnings, have you used them before? Do they hold up in the weather? Are they durable?
Yes, we'd
They're
provide
kind-
something that was durable. I believe there are some canvas awnings on the building to the north, so something
yes.
similar to what was used there.
Yeah. Okay, they are a nice look.
Yeah,
They add a lot to the windows.
very nice building.
Yeah, looks good.
Thank you.
So are we
All right,
ready?
Commission.
Okay, in planning case 18-4, the planning commission moved to approve the proposed site plan with those following 7 conditions that were already stated.
Second.
Motion by Stevens, second by Heikala. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. This is a decision by the planning commission and can be appealed to the city council within 10 days if anyone so chooses. Congratulations, good luck, and it's a good looking building, and looking forward to seeing you become part of the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, moving on to other business. Mr. Harlicker, anything you have for us?
Nothing too much new. Expect Honda to start their grading shortly on their site over there. We were meeting with them yesterday, but sorting through how they could get their grading started over there. I know the Chrysler building, they've got ground thawing equipment over there, so thawing out the ground, so they're trying to get started soon also. Next month should be a fairly brief meeting. The only item we have is a request for a site plan approval extension for Spirit of Grace Church. If you recall, they were in last spring for an addition to their church, and they'll be in next month requesting a one-year extension, which is allowed by code.
That's over on Woodcrest Drive, is that correct?
Yep, correct, Joe.
All right. Commissioner Stevenson,
When, have any sense of when Canes is gonna break ground? The chicken finger place?
Raising Canes?
Oh, I believe we got revised permits for the building permit plans today. So, shortly.
Good, I'm hungry.
Haven't had dinner yet.
anyone else with anything?
Move to adjourn?
Second?
Motion by Stevens, second by Casey, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.